In the days before the Clone Wars kicked off and the galaxy was divided into separatists and loyalists, things were much different, but there were still conflicts that required Jedi to keep the peace. One of these situations arose when Master Yoda was drawn to a mysterious disturbance in the Force out on a remote, distant world. Once he arrived, he found two warring tribes of children who were fighting over a mysterious Force-imbued stone which covered their mountaintops. Yoda quickly realized that the Force drew him here to teach him a lesson, one that would change him forever. So let's break down how Yoda's view on the Force was changed forever by a single blue stone. In the dark bowels of a remote city, a young boy is being held inside of a cage because everyone in this city has heard about his mystical Force powers. He has called out in the Force for a Jedi to help him, but he is unsure if anyone has heard him. The pirates who are holding him here are disgusted and won't let the boy be taken by the Jedi unless there is a hefty fee paid. Moments later, the doors creak open and the light shines into the lair, with the mysterious Jedi Master arriving to respond to the boy's calls for help. Despite the lair being filled with horrid raiders and pirates, the Jedi showed no fear. And when the door revealed the Jedi's stature, the pirates burst into laughter at his tiny size. It was none other than Grandmaster Yoda himself. Although these pirates had no idea who they were really dealing with. As Yoda walks in, he tells the pirates that he has come for the boy and that he is ready to collect him for his training. The pirates refuse to send him though unless they are paid handsomely in cold hard credits. Yoda of course refuses and tells him that he has brought something far more precious. Immediately, Yoda uses the Force to take control of the pirates' limbs and slam them into each other, absolutely infuriating all of them. The small green master has absolutely no issue dispatching the entire horde of pirates. He leaves every single one of them knocked out in a sheer display of Force power. Master Yoda then takes the young boy's hand and tells him, "Begun your training has." After the successful rescue, Yoda then leaves the young boy named Lo with Qui-Gon Jinn and his Padawan Obi-Wan Kenobi to escort him back to Coruscant. The curious young Obi-Wan walks over to the pirate's den and peeks inside, being absolutely amazed and wondering how Master Yoda took out a whole room full of pirates. Qui-Gon then pulls Master Yoda aside, asking him if everything is alright. The wise master responds by saying that on the way to save the young pirate boy, he felt a strange disturbance in the Force. It is a calling he must follow. Qui-Gon can't feel it himself, but the Grand Master is determined to follow it wherever it may lead him. After this, Yoda hops into his ship and zooms across the galaxy, following the mysterious call in the Force, which is like nothing he has ever felt before. The call leads him to a planet that doesn't appear on any star maps or charts, a planet shielded by an asteroid belt so dense and dangerous that only an amazingly skilled pilot or a fool would dare enter. Yoda soon lands his ship on the dark and dreary world, which is seemingly lifeless. But as he emerges, this thought is quickly corrected. He sees that the world is inhabited by a group of tribal children. As he walks forward and greets them, he in return is greeted by a barrage of blue-tipped spears focused at his head. Yoda offers to help the young children, but they forcefully tell him that they don't need any help, especially from a weird frog like him. Yoda then uses his infamous line, warning them not to judge him by his size, because he doesn't judge them by theirs. Yoda sees them as warriors, no matter their age. Warriors with eyes that have witnessed much death and many terrible battles. He then asks where their parents are, which mysteriously sends a jolt of pain through the children. One of the kids starts shouting that they've all been taken to a nearby mountain, but the others try to quiet him down. They believe this whole thing is some kind of mind trick, possibly conjured by the Rockhawkers. The Rockhawkers are a rival tribe on this planet. In a bout of anger and even fear, the tribe soon lashes out at Yoda, hurling their blue-tipped spears at the Grand Master, but something very strange happens. Yoda is unable to catch the spears using the Force and starts to feel that they might actually be alive in the Force. The tribal kids continue hurling spears and call out that Yoda's stone power is weak. This is the name that the tribe has given to the Force without actually realizing that it is the Force. Similar to how the Night Sisters of Dathomir use magics, which is just their interpretation of the Force in their environment. Yoda then manages to lift up some huge boulders surrounding them, using them to block the spears since he can't manage to connect with them directly. Having survived the attack, Yoda apologizes and begins to explain why he is here. He tells the kids that he's not as much of a warrior as them, but is instead a teacher who is eager to learn. He calms the tribal kids by telling them that he does not know of the mountain they speak of or of the other clan on their world, but was instead called here from a very, very far away place. The tribe kids are then sent into a flurry of amazement and mystery as they realize that Yoda has heard the Sky Scream. The Sky Scream is a type of prayer that these children use, which is augmented by the Force and can call out across the galaxy to anyone sensitive to the Force. Realizing that Yoda arrived because of this Sky Scream, they now believe that he is the godlike figure called the Deliverer who was prophesied to bring peace to their world. Following this, the kids take Yoda deep into the jungle and show him their home called Mucktown. They welcome him into the dense jungles and parade him through town, telling the townspeople that he is the Deliverer. The people are pretty skeptical that such a small being could be the prophesied figure to bring peace to their tribe, but hey, they shouldn't judge by his size. They then take Yoda to the spiritual center of their village, showing him how the Sky Screamers called out to him. They swallow pieces of the sacred rock, which seems to strengthen their stone power, or as we know it, their connection to the Force. They then show him how they screamed out in the Force, hoping that one day the Deliverer would arrive. The kids then inform Yoda that this is the last piece of the Great Mountain that they have left, because their rival tribe called the Rockhawkers kept chipping away at it, using it to wage war. They predict that once this stone is chipped away to nothing but dust, their existence will come to an end. Yoda is confused as he has never seen a stone like this, saying, "Strong in the Force it is." The children ask, "What is the Force? We do not understand." Yoda wisely replies that there is much he doesn't understand either. The children then tell their story to the Jedi Master. The story of how all people on this distant world once lived together in the shadow of an entire range of beautiful blue mountains. From the stone of those arcane peaks, the people drew the energy of life and great power. Unfortunately though, some of those people became greedy and wanted the power of the stones for themselves. A split formed and rival factions were born. This then sparked a horrid war which destroyed the beautiful blue mountain ranges and drained them of their power. The greedy, power-hungry faction won the conflict eventually, and the other was exiled to the mudfields of the planet. The exiled tribe began to lose their powers and so much more. When the mothers and fathers of these children that lost that ancient war, they carried as much of the blue stone as they could to their place of exile, breathing life into their tribe. But now only pebbles remain. These stones are the only thing that they have left. And of course, each other. The tribe then take Yoda to their prison setup where they have captured a scout from the Rockhawkers. The man inside pretends to be confident and sure of himself, but Yoda can feel that he is lying. He has great fear within him, not of Yoda or of the Mud Tribe, but of the mystical mountain itself. Yoda wonders why anyone would be afraid of a mountain, but the deranged prisoner breaks out into a fit and warns Yoda that he will eventually go. Everyone does. And then Yoda will realize how stupid he was not to be afraid. At this point, the tribe is sick of the prisoner's ramblings and wants to have him executed, but is quickly stopped by one of the others. She tells him, "We're not like them. We don't steal or hate, and we definitely don't murder." The boy responds, "Then maybe that's why we're losing this war." The green-haired boy then invokes the brutal murder of his brother as a reason why they should execute this prisoner, but the girl stops him again and begs him to put down the spear. Two separate ideologies clash, and Master Yoda realizes something stunning. This is exactly how the Jedi Order split from the Sith and the dark side all of those years ago. The Mud Clan is just like the Jedi followers of the Ashlar, and the Rockhawkers are just like the Sith followers of the Bogan. The parallels are exact and the Force is simply repeating itself. As the two kids clash their spears, Master Yoda feels a horrific disturbance in the Force, almost as if the planet wants to tear itself apart. Knowing that this tribe is good at heart, he warns them to be true to themselves and to let go of their anger and fear. Trust in the stone power they must, because it surrounds and binds everything. And then they must do one more thing for Master Yoda. On the request of Master Yoda, the tribe then frees that terrified prisoner from earlier and lets him be the guide to the mysterious mountain. The prisoner begins calling Yoda mad, which he finds amusing considering he just helped to free him from a barbaric prison. As the two walk, Yoda has many questions about this mysterious planet and its force-imbued mountain. Yet he feels like he has a deep understanding of the war that is being fought here. The battle between the dark and light was a universal one, an ancient and primal struggle. Even though these primitive tribes have never heard of the Force or the Jedi, the battle was still the same, light versus dark. Eventually, Yoda arrives at what's left of the Blue Mountain. The Guardians of the Mountain question Yoda and he tells them that he has brought back a prisoner of theirs as an act of goodwill. The Guardians are suspicious, but Yoda says he comes in peace. As they reach the shadow of the mountain, Yoda is shocked to realize that they are all children too. Children wielding the same force-imbued weapons made from blue stone. The shadow of the mountain acts in the same way as the shadow of the dark side and can engulf any force user. The prisoner is nervous at this point and tells Yoda that he tried to warn him. Only the young and wild survive on this planet. The wild tribe begins hurling a barrage of force-imbued stones at Yoda, with one even striking him in the center of the head. As he gets up, they warn him that in the shadow of the mountain, nothing is stronger than them. They then surround him and knock the wise master unconscious. Sometime later, the old master wakes up and finds himself bound with shackles carved from the Force Stone. They now task him with the most difficult challenge possible on this planet. He must seek the heart of the mountain by traveling inside and retrieving it. Yoda realizes that this is yet another parallel to how he understands the Force. As Yoda is led in cuffs up the mountain, he is left deep in thought. He was the most powerful Jedi Master known to the Order, but on that day he was being taught a lesson by the Force. The only lesson. The true nature of the universe and how the cycle of the Force flows. Yoda would never be the same after making these realizations, and how they all applied to his own leadership of the Jedi Order into the Clone Wars. This day eventually culminated in his dark and clouded feelings about the Jedi Order in the Clone Wars Season 6, foreseeing their fall. So that is how a single blue rock changed Yoda and his perspective on the Force forever. If you want to see a part 2 to this beautiful story, tell me in the comments down below and I'll be sure to cover it. Make sure you subscribe to join the Star Force and I'll see you in the next one. If you made it this far, make sure you comment down below. Thank Mr. Yoda.